Bonjour et bienvenue à la vie d'Azon. Aujourd'hui, nous discuterons les premières et les deuxièmes semaines de l'université. On y va? Hi guys, so I hope you're all doing well in this current situation. First thing is we're going to go over my classes for this semester. So my classes will also pop up on the screen. First class is French, beginnings, it's like called beginning French 2 or beginners French 2, but anyways, everyone just calls it French 1 of 2. So I have that. Then my second class is Craft of Language, which is just English 101, standard English language class. Then I have Financial Accounting. The full name is Concepts of Financial Accounting. That is just ACC 101. Then I have Macro and Microeconomics. So Microeconomics is ECN 101 and Macroeconomics is ECN 102. And then I have another class which is like a 1-credit class. That is Excel competency, and that is once a week. And my French class is 4 credits. So I have a total of 17 credits, which is the standard amount of credits for the first semester of my major, which is international business. And so today I thought we would just talk about like each class and how it is and like my experience and differences from high school, and keep in mind that I'm doing the first semester online. So let's get started. So my first class is French 102. This class is 3 days of the week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And so my overall reaction to the class is I feel like I've been placed correctly. Like previously I was placed for 101 and I took French 1 in high school, so that made no sense. Then I asked like, can I go up? And then they asked what did I study and stuff like that. And then they said, yeah, you can go to 102. And I'm so glad, because if I was in 101, I would literally know everything and it'd be horrible. So, I'm in French 102, and I'd say I think my high school French 1 class prepared me well. There are a few verbs, irregular verbs. We learned all the regular conjugations, but there are a few irregular verbs that we were expected to in college that I did not know the conjugation of. Like I knew what they meant, but I didn't know the conjugation for them. So I quickly learned those because they weren't too difficult. Like they were irregular, but they all had some sort of pattern to their irregularity. And yeah, and then we were asked to like review chapters 1 through 4 of our textbook. So the textbook we use in my class is called Liaisons, and the 3rd edition. And so we used that, and we were asked to review chapters 1 through 4 because we're starting from chapter 5 in the class. And I believe level 1 covers chapters 1 through 4. So it was actually kind of interesting because some of the things we're learning right now I've already done, because in my high school class, like a full year that goes through 8 units, which kind of corresponds to like 8 chapters and like a textbook. So like the curriculum was based off of BND for levels 1 through 3 in high school, but in college, for some reason, I think the pacing is slower, maybe because you meet less and meeting less, and also that it's online, so they're expecting less, stuff like that. And overall, it's a huge change. So in high school, I would say the majority of work was the teacher. Like, the teacher had to make the slides, had to, like, some teachers made worksheets, stuff like that, like Kahoots and all, like, class stuff. In college, everything is really textbook based, so the teachers don't really have to, or the professors, they actually, during class, they talk and do lectures, and then they grade. And so, in my opinion, they have a lot less pressure than teachers, because teachers have to do a lot more. They have to create PowerPoints and, like, engaging projects and stuff like that. In college, there's, like, no engaging projects. Like, most of them are just papers or something like that. Next, and the other thing is, like, the entire class is so textbook based. Like, we go through the textbook, like, the whole class, whereas in high school we would primarily, like, do PowerPoints, and the textbook was, like, hardly used. Like, everything was PowerPoint, and, like, we got this packet of worksheets that had notes in it and practice in it, and we did that. So it's quite a bit different for French. The next class we are going to discuss is craft of language. So craft of language is English 101, and I love the class. Like, it literally, we do reading. It is reading intensive and writing intensive, but the reading is actually really interesting and about, like, issues in society, not like, I mean, I guess there will be some old literature and stuff like that we need to read, but mainly, as of now, it's more of, like, modern issues and things like that. And I really love the class. My professor is great. So we do the readings, then in class we mainly talk about the readings. We might, like, watch a video, and we also sometimes get videos or homework, and it's just, the videos are also really interesting, and in general, I just love the class. It's quite different from high school English. High school English, I would say, is there's always, like, a book assigned, and then every day, like, maybe there's, like, 4 or 8 books, depending what, like, if you do one book a quarter or 2. And, the entire English class is based on the book. You write the essay about the book. And then there might be a point where there's, like, a unit about poetry or a unit on, like, a research project, structured like that. But this is structured differently. It's more in, like, improving writing. And I really like it. I took AP Lang in high school, and I find this class much better for writing than AP Lang. So that's my opinion on that class. The next class we're going to talk about is financial accounting, which is ACC 101. This class, I would say, is one of my more challenging classes because it's so specific. It's also an Excel intensive class, like Excel as in Microsoft Excel. And you have to do lots of, like, it's not calculation. Well, it is, but it's, like, basic addition and subtraction. You're not, like, doing calculus, but it is still, like, kind of difficult. And it's like, if you forget to put a 0, the homework says you're missing something. Like, not like as in you're missing a 0 of a number. It's just like the number is null, like 0. There's not minus or plus. So I don't know, it's like very, very, what's the word, like, delicate, like, detailed and, like, delicate. Like, if you do one thing off, is just a mess. And also, it's, like, not very easy. There's a lot of definitions. We just started talking about, like, financial statements, and it's kind of overwhelming. But in general, it's an interesting class, and it's also quite different. One thing in college I found that is a lot of stuff is based around the textbook more so than in high school. So, like, each publisher of textbook have their own like platform where you do their homework. So we do our homework on the textbook publisher's platform. We read the textbook obviously, and then the slides in class, if the teacher uses slides, are almost always from the textbook publisher. So this is quite different from high school, whereas like the homework and slides were all from the teacher and the textbook was just sometimes used. It's quite different in college. So yeah. The fourth class I'm going to talk about is microeconomics. This is one of my more, I would say, different classes where the teacher does not use any slides, or even the textbook isn't very used very much. Like he just writes stuff down on the whiteboard and lectures. I mean, the class is quite interesting, but it's just like a very different method of teaching. The entire time it's just whiteboard, copy the whiteboard and talking and write that down. And so, but the class itself is interesting, and so I like it. The class that is my macroeconomics now, ECN 102. I have once a week. It's like a 3-hour class, but same thing. It's like the slides are from the publisher. We read the book, but the homework is different. The homework's from the teacher, so that's a bit different. I would say I find microeconomics more interesting than macro. That might be due to my professor. I feel like my micro professor is more engaging because even though he talks the whole time, it's like, I feel like he does stuff to relate. Whereas macroeconomics, it's, I guess the professor doesn't as related to like normal life as much. So yeah. Then the final class we're going to talk about is Excel competency, which is DSS 100. DSS means decision systems and sciences or something like that. And that's just, well, it's once a week. It's like for an hour. We have a textbook, we have reading assignments, and then there's lots of videos, and we have like we get a template and we do it, and then we check our answers with an answer key, and then there's like quizzes as like the main assignment. So that's like a pretty not very difficult class, but it's the same kind of like financial accounting. Like when the final exam it'll be if one thing goes wrong, the whole thing is wrong. So those two classes I'm a bit like nervous about because they're Excel heavy. French, I say I'm pretty confident with because I just love French. And then English, I would say I'm sort of confident. I've not been the best writer, but hopefully the class improves my writing. Then macro and micro is kind of like, I'm a bit nervous because I'm not really good at math, but hopefully it's just like easy math, like additional and subtraction and stuff. Macroeconomics is a lot less math, but the class is not. I mean, the topics are somewhat interesting, but I feel like it's such a long class that it's like a bit like, difficult. But that is my review of the first and second week of school. We're going to have our activities very soon, virtually and on campus for people who are on campus. And we are going to have, there's Labor Day weekend, so there's no class on Monday. But other than that, just normal assignments. Like, some of my classes are asynchronous, like on one day, and like synchronous on the other day, which means like synchronous is there's live stuff, and asynchronous is like they give an assignment and you need to do it. So usually with the English class, the Friday class is asynchronous, so like there's no live class. But Monday and Wednesday is synchronous. My schedule will pop up on the screen. So I have English and French 3 days in the week, and financial accounting and microeconomics twice in the week. And then Excel is on Wednesday once in the week, and then macroeconomics is a night class that's 3 hours long on Monday. So I think my next video will be kind of maybe about college applications or international applications, because I believe that for the next admission cycle, a lot more people for international will apply to here if they have not already applied and taken a gap year. So we will do international, and we'll probably also do domestic, like US people, like students. Yeah, that's the plan. Hopefully we will. So I know that you guys, I think it's August 1st was when Common App essays were revealed. So there's a video about that, and that on my channel. And now we'll probably talk about like the entire application process and what you need to do, and like what you need to tell your counselor and all that type of stuff. We're going to talk about until November, I believe, because in November that's when like early decisions and early actions are due. We'll talk about more about the differences between application types. Because the thing is, most of your applications will be done for, I believe, by January. January 15th is where most schools are due. Some schools are due in March, but most larger schools are due in January. And so I think I'll wrap up either in November or January. J'espère que vous adorez cette vidéo. Merci d'avoir regardé. S'il vous plaît, vous partagez, abonnez, aimez et commentez. À la prochaine vidéo. Au revoir. I feel the power of ceramics. I'm ready for my underwater world. I feel the magic of ceramics. A source of power flowing from my heart. I'll protect the ocean.